Here are the directions for Part 2. In this part, you will hear 6 passages, A through F. Each passage will be followed by 2 questions, number 13 through number 24. For each question, you will have 10 seconds to choose the best answer and mark your answer on your answer sheet. The passage and the questions will be given only once. Now, let's begin.
A. Cochineals. The idea of eating bugs is not socially accepted in many countries. It can therefore shock people to learn that some food products in their supermarkets contain a colouring made from insects. The insects, called cochineals, produce a substance known as carminic acid. To make the colour, the insects are first harvested from cactus plants. The insects are then dried and processed to turn the carminic acid into carmine, a red dye that can be used as a food colouring. Because of the quality dye that can be produced from cochineals, they were highly valued by ancient civilizations in the Americas. These societies used the dye to colour clothing, food, and body paint. Today, it is used in some cosmetics as well as food. Some people, such as vegans and vegetarians, think that dyes made from plant sources, like strawberries and beets, should be used instead.
Questions. Number 13. What is one thing we learn about carminic acid? Number 14. What do some people think about the dye made from cochineals?
B. Icelandic turf houses. For centuries, people in Iceland used turf, clumps of grass and dirt, to construct their houses. Turf was a durable material that could withstand the harsh climate and help keep people warm. Wood was in short supply and often needed to be imported, so it could not be replaced easily. For this reason, more available materials such as turf and stones were used whenever possible. Turf not only provided insulation, it also protected Icelandic people from some natural disasters. Turf houses were usually dug into the side of a hill. While they looked like individual buildings from the front, they were often joined together by a corridor at the back. This unusual feature allowed people to move from building to building without being exposed to the cold. Though almost no one lives in turf houses in Iceland today, many have been converted into museums and have become popular tourist attractions.
Questions. Number 15. What was one reason Icelandic people built turf houses? Number 16. What does the speaker say about turf houses?
C. The breakdown of wet wipes. Wet wipes are causing problems in sewer tunnels around the world. In 2015, for example, workers in London had to clear an enormous 10-ton lump of fat from one sewer tunnel. Experts blame wet wipes that are being flushed down toilets for causing such problems. Although the wipes can pass through pipes in homes without any issues, they mix with grease in sewer tunnels to create serious blockages. Cleaning up these obstructions has been estimated to cost billions of dollars worldwide. As a result, new industry standards were set for labeling a product flushable, based on how quickly it breaks down. Environmental groups, however, claim these standards are not useful because flushable wipes do not break down in sewer tunnels the way they do in laboratory tests. The environmental groups therefore created guidelines telling consumers which products do not create blockages.
Questions. Number 17. What is one problem caused by wet wipes? Number 18. Why do environmental groups criticize the new industry standards?
D. Raising Angora rabbits. Angora rabbits are raised around the world for their wool because it is softer and much warmer than sheep wool. Due to the animal's small size and the need to constantly care for their coats, raising Angora rabbits for wool is best done on a small scale. More owners of small farms are becoming interested in raising the animals, as their wool is more profitable than sheep wool. Removing the wool of some breeds of Angora rabbit requires cutting the wool once every few months. With other breeds, the wool can be easily removed by hand. The wool needs to be removed often because Angora rabbits clean themselves using their tongues, like cats. If they are not brushed regularly, they will swallow too much of their wool, which can cause death. Luckily, Angora rabbits can be easily trained to sit calmly while being brushed or having their wool cut.
Questions. Number 19. What is one thing the speaker says about Angora rabbits? Number 20. What is one problem with wool from Angora rabbits?
E. Fireside chats. When Franklin D. Roosevelt became President of the United States in 1933, the country was suffering from an economic crisis. A quarter of the population was unemployed, people were hungry, and trust in the government was rapidly declining. Roosevelt decided to use a radio broadcast to help calm the growing feeling of panic. He wanted to talk directly to the American people and tell them that the government was addressing their concerns. The speech was an immediate success. Roosevelt made similar broadcasts known as fireside chats throughout his presidency. The talks often mentioned respected figures like Abraham Lincoln and ended with the national anthem. However, it was Roosevelt's conversational, informal style that set his fireside chats apart from usual political speeches. People felt as if the president was in their homes, giving them updates on everything from World War II to farming.
Questions. Number 21. Why did Franklin D. Roosevelt decide to make radio broadcasts? Number 22. How were the fireside chats different from regular political speeches? F. Bajau divers. The Bajau people live on boats in the waters around Malaysia, Indonesia, and the Philippines. and spend most of their lives at sea. Some Bajau divers can fish beneath the ocean's surface for up to 13 minutes without scuba equipment. Researchers found that Bajau people have larger than average spleens. The spleen is an organ that provides oxygen to the blood when the breath is held, so a larger spleen likely benefits the divers. Bajau people with no diving experience also have larger spleens, so the researchers suspect the divers' abilities are partly genetic. In addition, DNA samples from Bajau people showed they commonly have genes that help more oxygen get to organs like the heart and lungs. The researchers want to learn more about how Bajau people have adapted to their environment. They hope that such knowledge will lead to better treatments for conditions such as heart disease.
Questions. Number 23. What did researchers discover about the Bajau people? Number 24. What is one thing the researchers want to do?